To make sure I'm all up there. Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost. Looks like I've got a couple of things still going. And it says that I'm streaming. Yes. Okay. So Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost, all about the brain, learning how to cultivate it and feed it in a way that is the most productive. We are going to learn how we can make sure that we are always training our brain to be motivated. When we have roller coaster emotions, that is actually because our little brain has gotten some confusing messages. And so it is taking one program and another program and running them all at once, or trying to run one and then another one pops up. And that's why we get the differences of not knowing what we want to do, not knowing how we're going to feel about things. Feelings just pop up that we were not expecting. So emotional intelligence is actually, I think, a skill that we should have learned in school, like reading and writing, but it wasn't. It is not taught as a necessary basic skill like reading and writing. And so we have to muddle our way through. And if our parents don't know, or someone in our peers or friends or family don't know, it may be years before we learn the importance of understanding about our brain and the importance of then cultivating and feeding it based on how the brain works. Okay, so for me, I was 48 years old when I found this out, and it's been amazing ever since I've known now how my brain works. Just some basic information, not rocket science stuff here, because I'm not a rocket scientist, but some basic information. And I stopped doing the things that were not feeding and cultivating my brain in the best way. So I am now going to, I didn't put on my buds. I don't know if I need them on really. Maybe I do. I don't know. Anyway, I've got my buds in. And let's see what we're going to do today. We're going to set up our presentation. I'm about to do a screen share. I've been getting this to go smoother and smoother. So we're going to see if I nail it this time again. So I'm going to do a screen share so that you can see what I'm going to do for our presentation. And we are going to get started. As you know, we've been looking at different emotions, high vibes and lower vibe emotions. All of our emotions have a purpose. And so we are actually learning how it is that we can make sure that we are using them all usefully in the most productive ways. Because when they are used usefully and productive, you don't have any negative side effects of going through periods or moods that demotivate us or keep us low or keep us stagnant or keep us feeling that, maybe life isn't so great. So we're going to do this presentation. And we will start out how we always start out, which is, my name is Renee with DIY Mental Boost. And I am all about the brain. Okay. The brain can only produce what we tell or allow it. Yes, that is the one thing that I constantly share when I do my presentation, because it is very important to know this. It is a basic understanding you need to know about your brain. When you're feeling a certain way, it's not random. Okay, it may be random to us because we didn't know we instilled that program, but it isn't a program that got instilled. Okay, and so we may not know that it's in there and it pops up and we're like, why are we feeling this way? I don't understand. Okay, so I'm actually looking for my little picture that's usually on the side of the screen. So give me a second. I'm going to look and see where it is. Well, because it's not there. I don't know why I have to see myself, but it's usually there. So I'm going to try to see if I can find it real quick. So be patient with me and bear with me as I do that. I know the screen share may have stopped or paused because I see it flipping in and out that it's been paused. So we'll see. But when I would, okay, I know what I did. Here it is. There. And then there. Just the little teeny tiny button that I didn't click. So now I did. So I should be there. I should see myself on the screen, and you could see me on the screen. So the brain can only produce what we tell and what we allow it. So what we're going to do is we are going to help our brain put together the pieces for understanding how amazing our brain is. And we're going to create what we want and regulate our emotions with our brain. May not have been taught these amazing things I'm going to show you about your brain and what you can do with it. We're going to use all emotions wisely. That's what I'm sharing, is how we can use all emotions wisely. We're going to enhance the higher vibe ones. Now, as you can see, we've already discussed 3: clarity, compassion, and confidence. Today, we're going to be dealing with encouragement, motivation, and the rest we'll get to as the weeks come, which you can always go back. So I usually try to put in the link of every stream the past different workshops that were done so that you can look at them and get caught up if you wish. Okay. And the second one we're going to deal with, we always do a higher vibe and we always do a lower vibe. This one is criticism. We're feeling attacked. We're feeling maybe we're attacking, or we're feeling we are attacked. But we're going to learn how to accept, feel, and release all emotions wisely, including the lower vibe ones. Okay. When we come to understand that all the emotions have a purpose and they can be used wisely. The lower vibe ones, they have a purpose. They are to sound alarm, to pay attention. I say this with every single workshop. So if at some point your brain is saying, I know exactly what she's talking about, I got this now, perfect. If your brain is saying, I've heard this, but yet you're not making changes, doing the videos that I give out for you to do, making those changes, then your brain doesn't quite understand it yet. It knows the information, but the understanding, the importance of it is not there yet, because it has not yet motivated you to realize, whoa, this is big. I can make some big changes with this and how it can affect your life. So lower vibe, purpose and use. Sound alarm, to pay attention. Oh, like a smoke alarm. Oh, what's going on? We should go investigate. Again, how dramatic of an alarm depends on you. And as you know, I always say I do a little tinkle. And I know, oh, I need to pay attention. Okay. My high vibe stays at a 10 and 9. And if it drops below that, that's my little tinkle. And what does it make me do? It makes me pay attention and take action if I need to. Okay. What action you take or do not take creates a high or low vibe that your brain will create. This is also determined by, you know what I've got to say, by you. All our vibes can be constructive or destructive, again, depending on what you, me, we, each individually do that. Because we'll say it was the car accident that ruined our life. We will say that it's the guy we dated that ruined our lives, or the guy we married, or we will say it's the loss of something that completely changed us and never make us the same, when it's actually not. It is the way you chose to assign the situation, the emotion that you chose to assign that situation. And that is what grew into how you're feeling about that situation right now. So the tester is to look at your fruitage. What does that mean? It means by your fruitage, what your life is like, how you see your life, that's your fruitage. Do you feel your life is what? Thriving. Oh, it's great. No matter what happens, I'm able to figure out what to do. I'm able to do anything. Bring it on. Or is it just surviving? I'm just hanging on. There's so much going on. That always is happening. I can't get ahead. Every time I go forward one, I get knocked back two. Is that your consistent feeling that you're thriving? Is there a consistent feeling that you're not surviving. That really gets you into a really low vibe for a long time. Or are you on a roller coaster? Boop. That tends to happen when we're going based on circumstances. Oh, late to work, sad. Oh, went to work on time, happy. Oh, went to work, sad. Okay, going up and down. So you're going to look at your fruitage. How are you viewing and seeing your life? What are you producing? If you're producing high vibe stuff, great, you're laying in the high vibe. If you're going up and down, that means you've got some programs that are conflicting. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I know it's not my fault, but I feel so guilty. Two programs inside. You want to decide which one you want. That is what we do at DIY Mental Boost. We help you to figure that out. So how do you assign a high vibe to a lower vibe situation? The first thing you're going to do is the 3 steps that are shared here that I teach all the time. That is what my DIYmentalboost.com website is about. It's about doing those 3 steps, learning about them and doing them. And what they do is they decrease any lingering low vibe reactions to low vibe situations. Once your brain is calm about it, then secondly, you can assign what you want to be the result of how you always look at that situation. Okay, so when something happens right now, the default program many people have, something happens that's low vibe, they just assign it a low vibe, and every time they think of it, every time they refer to it, it just makes them feel bad. And did you know, that's what I love to say, did you know you do not have to do that? You can actually assign a high vibe. High vibe is love, joy, peace, willingness, encouragement, enlightenment, neutrality. You can assign a high vibe to a lower vibe situation. This is what I'm showing you how to do. What you're going to do is you're going to take the situation and do the 3 steps. Now, if you want to understand the 3 steps, how it works and what they are, well, you can go to DIYmentalboost.com and get started for a free. It is a website that is based on donations. So a sliding scale donation for as little as a couple of bucks, you can actually get started. And if you do not have a couple of bucks, do not worry, just get started. Because the purpose is that everyone has the right to know this information. Okay, everyone has the right to know this information and know how to use it, just like reading and writing. So there is no reason not for anyone, if they so choose, to know how to regulate their emotions, how to assign high vibes to lower vibe situations so that their brain stays motivated 24/7. And yes, I do mean 24/7. So after you have had a situation, you had an emotion, you're going to address the emotion. So that's why they accept, feel, and release. After you've done that, then you can actually assign how you're going to always feel about it. You're going to ask your brain, how can I assume this will turn out for the best? You're going to ask your brain, how do I keep the big picture in mind? What does this have to do with the big picture in my life of what's going on, or what I'm going for, or what I'm trying to achieve, what my goal is? How does this really affect it? What do I need to keep in mind so I stay motivated? And third is, how can I make good from this? How do I make good from this bad situation? If you consistently do this every time there is an unwanted situation, the brain will then be trained and start to do it automatically. Okay. So when you first start doing the 3-step thought process, because you don't know it, you are manually going to be doing it. Okay. After your brain gets trained to do it, which is what my website is designed to do, it's designed to effortlessly help you to use follow along videos, guided sessions to learn how to do this. So when you're doing it, you're actually training your brain as you're watching my videos. So after you've done that and you feel this calmness and this peace, then you're going to sit there and ask your brain those 3 questions so that it can start to learn that no matter what comes up in life, this is what you want it to do. So this is what my brain does for me now. When something comes up, it actually does not go into a low vibe situation because it already has automatically told me how to feel about it. And it will either tell me, oh, this is okay, Renee. It's going to work out and I'm going to feel it. Or it's going to say, oh, Renee, really? In the big scheme of things, is it this important? And my brain's going to say, yeah, it's not. Let's just forget it. Oh, just keep going. Just a little bump in the road. or my brain will say, okay, this really wasn't expected. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to keep going? Blah, 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 to give me ideas. And then I go off. So I don't go into any low vibe reactions. My brain stays high in the motivated. And that is because I trained my brain to do that. And I designed the website to help people to do that. Okay. Now, the 3-step thought process, that's not mine. I did not come up with that. I found it online, and I spent many months and over 600 watching their videos to figure out about this technique and how to do it. Now, do most people have that much time? No. I just happened to make time, and I really went gung ho, and I probably should have even done it in a more calmer way. But, based on my default programs, I was like gung ho. Okay. So I thought, how do I make this easy so that other people can just be able to learn this easily, effortlessly, make changes, and not have to watch 600 videos to figure it out. So that's what my website does for you. You don't have to do that. Just watch a video and it starts happening for you. So then your brain will automatically be doing these 3 steps and automatically be giving you these 3 great solutions to figure out things. It'll stay motivated. That is what your emotions are supposed to do, whether they're higher or lower vibe. They're meant to keep you motivated and taking action, never sinking into stagnant, feeling hopeless, helpless moods for long periods of time. Okay, so Q&A about this. Can I do the above? The ask your brain, how can I assume the best, the big picture, and make good without doing the 3-step thought process? Yes, you can. Just expect your brain to take longer to make it an automatic program. It will take longer because the intense low vibe, the intensity of your low vibe, the intensity of it will make it difficult for the high vibe to stick that you want to assign to it, because the low vibe has too much power still. Like if you're trying to sand down something and you're going to shellac it or something, you're supposed to sand it down and put something so it sticks. Okay, it's like you're just putting it on top without doing a little bit of prep work to help it to stick. So this is why when people do positive thinking, mindfulness, affirmations, and gratitudes, they have difficulty with it because it takes a long time to see the benefit, and they give up because they haven't decreased the low vibe emotion that is attached to the things they're trying to affirm or the gratitudes they're trying to have. Is that making sense? I hope it is. I know it is, because you're so smart. You're listening here to this information. So why you want to take the time to train the brain? The horses go where the rider tells it, does it not? Yeah, right? The brain is very teachable. As it is learning that you are now the director, it will start to respond to what you teach it faster and faster. Up until now, you may have let it mostly do what it wants, be anxious when it wants, be sad when it wants, be mad without redirecting it effectively. This is why you will hear many say it is hard to make new habits or to make changes or to manage their emotions. They feel they have no control over how they feel. They say, well, it's human. It's actually the norm it has become. So yes, but being human does not mean that you don't have any ability to regulate your emotions. It just means that you weren't taught. You didn't have the training yet. Okay. Like I did not know it. I was 48 years old until I found out. I was like, what? I can do what with my brain? It will do what for me? So the way your brain is reacting to you now and how it reacts to every single thing, it's been trained to do that. You just don't know that you've trained it that way. There might be some things you knowingly did, but the rest, you unknowingly didn't know it. When you go to DIY Mental Boost and you look at the trainings of the videos that start out just giving you some background information, it helps you to understand how we created our emotions and our programs that we have in our brain at this moment. You'll learn how you did that. But right now, we're actually learning how, when you use this 3-step thought process, what it does for you. Okay? So, encouragement. encouragement. Okay, that's acknowledgement, praise, recognition, one of our 6 basic needs. Somebody says, "Oh, you look so pretty in your makeup today." Oh, you're like, "Thank you, thank you." Okay, or you may be like, no, this is just, yeah, I just look so horrible without makeup. I gotta put my makeup up. If I don't have my makeup on, I can't get my day started because, okay, we may we may not take this encouragement, but encouragement is acknowledgement from others, praise, recognition. It's one of our 6 basic needs that helps us to keep motivated. Okay. So if we blame lack of encouragement, the lack of encouragement, I did not complete my diet because I was not supported by my kids and husband. That's the lack of encouragement. Or I did not, my business didn't go right because, I didn't have, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a coach. Okay, as to why we do not or cannot do something. If we blame lack of something, lack of someone supporting us, we may want to examine why we're not able to encourage ourselves. I'm not saying that encouragement is not needed. We just discussed that it is needed, but we should not use it as an excuse for why we do not succeed, because we actually have the ability to encourage ourselves. So the lack is just the fact that, we didn't know how to encourage ourselves. So when you learn about your brain, how it processes, you're going to learn how you're going to be doing the things that help your brain. And that is by, number one, helping your brain to attach high vibe emotions to low vibe situations. Because the biggest issue that we have that impedes us is that our emotions are just jerking us around. And when something bad happens, we don't know how to help our brain to wrap around it and keep going. Okay? That's what we do here at DIY Mentals. Start your self-care in the mind. People want to start it on the outside and they say, go to the gym. The gym is great. We're not saying it's not. Okay? But it's an outward physical thing that we're doing. Go get a massage. Great. I say get a massage because I'm a massage therapist. Of course, I want you to come get a massage. But I tell people to use massage as a reward. Use the gym as a reward. You tell your brain, you're doing such a great job. We're going to physically get active and make you feel even more hyped. We're going to give you a massage because you've done such a great job. Okay, so that's how I think about outward things. Praise from people and knowledge, that's just because, you're doing so good. You feel so good. And that's just extra icing on the cake. Extra icing on the cake. Okay. Where we at? Next screen popping up for me. How do we unmotivate ourselves? What is it that we do? Okay. Oops, did I do something to stop? I sure did. Bear with me. Going to go back to the presentation. Because I accidentally click something. Hello, are you there? Let me see. This thing is in my way. I can't get to what I need. Oh, there it is. Okay. Nope, didn't click on the right one. I think there's a delay with my computer from when I'm clicking. So I'm going to slow it down. There we are. Back to our presentation. It looks like I'm still sharing, so we're good there. Hopefully we will start right on the same page. Good job, Renee. How do we unmotivate ourselves? When we are seeing what we do as not good enough, what we can do, it's just not sufficient. You could be doing better. I should be doing better. Okay. That is how we unmotivate ourselves, if we're constantly telling ourselves and focusing on that. If we're trying too hard to be perfect, no fault, not make a mistake. If we make a mistake, oh my goodness, we got to pick it apart, figure out what, why, how, and feel so bad about it. Okay. Very low vibe self talk about ourselves, calling ourselves names, saying how we are. I was hoping I could get the little video to play. I had a nice little video with this lady. Let's see, I'm going to click on it one more time and see if it'll do. Or constantly being anxious. That is actually how we get unmotivated. If you're going throughout life all the time, anxious every day about this or that, if in your mind every day something pops up and you have a worry about it, that's how we unmotivate ourselves. I'm going to go back one, then I'm going to go forward one, and see if my video will play. It may have went a little fuzzy there. Also, by always putting a but about things. That was great, but that was nice, but I did well, but except, oh, that would have been perfect if. That gets habitual. That gets to be the habit, and we think it's normal to express ourselves that way. Now, when we do that, that actually creates for our brain the ability to not be grateful, to not be appreciative, to be looking for perfection in things instead of being mindful of what's present and enjoying what we have, to be content. Doesn't mean that we can't improve on things, but you can actually do that without the button accept. That was great. I can't wait to do this again. I bet you it's going to even be better. Okay, got it? That was great. Wow, I learned so much. Ooh, I'm going to do this differently this time. Oh, I think I like that. Oh, no, it was so great. I'm just going to do it exactly the same way. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not a but in a low vibe, as in, but there's a problem. There can be a but as in like, hey, no big deal. I'm going to try something new next time. But if it's a but in a low vibe, like, oh, I should have done better. Oh, it's ruined because I did that. Oh, it's not as good. Those are the buts we're talking about coming from the lower vibe. Does that make a difference? A but from a higher vibe, that's good. A but from a lower vibe, not so great. Does that make sense? If it does, put, little thumbs up so that we know that. We're going to move on to the next photo, the next screen. How do we encourage ourselves? First of all, you can acknowledge your mistakes and errors and act to correct with confidence. Not like, oh, I made such a big mistake, I'm never doing this again. Or the next time you do it, you have so much fear that you're going to mess up again. That is not the way we encourage ourselves. So when we acknowledge mistakes and errors, and then we act to correct with confidence. Oh, I got it now. Did it the first time. Saw what I needed to do, make changes. This time it's going to go even better. Got it? You tell yourself, I did great. I knew I'd figure that out. I did that just right. I'm really smart. I always do a good job. I am so good at that. Do you give yourself your own praise? Know your own assets, own them. And also keep your expectations of ourselves reasonable. Okay? When we do that, we actually encourage ourselves. When we feel that inside, believe it or not, the need for others to encourage us, it goes just really low down. It just becomes like icing. We're not looking for it. We're not using it as a reason why we're not doing good because, we were always, discouraged. Got to get it from the inside first. When you get it from the inside first, those on the outside, they can't take it because it's in the inside. It's yours. You own it. Okay. Next screen. My computer is running a little lag. So I click and then I have to wait a little bit. So I hope that you're being patient with me. Do you consistently second guess yourself? Know your inner worth. Just be. Know that life is great. Do not second guess yourself. As you get into that habit of doing that, that's why your brain thinks that, yeah, you can't do it, that it's just not good enough. It doesn't see praise. Do you reject praise from others? People try to praise you, maybe a false sense of modesty, or maybe it is really modest, but that praise, if we acknowledge it, it allows us to allow them to have the pleasure of saying something that makes us feel good. Are you grateful for what you can do or what you have accomplished already, what you have done? Are you always still looking about what you haven't achieved yet? Or can you look and see all the good that you have done? That's how you give yourself your own acknowledgement, your own recognition, your own praise. Is this making sense to you? If it is, put a thumbs up. Now, remember, as you're doing these things, if you keep the intensity of lower vibes in there, this stuff, it won't stick because the lower vibe is so high. It's like, oh yeah, there's going to be this constant back and forth of roller coaster emotions. You got to get this all the way dropped down, the lower vibe, so that the stuff that we're talking about here stays on top, and then you actually do it and accomplish it and feel it. If not, something happens, it's going to come up and knock this out. So all of this stuff I'm telling you right now with regards to how we encourage ourselves is very good. But if we have not dropped the low intensity vibe, then we're going to have roller coaster. And again, how do we drop that? We do the 3-step thought process here. Now, there are other techniques that are probably out there, but this is the one I share because this is the fastest. Because every time you sit down and you do a video, you're going to notice the mental shift, a permanent mental shift. It's going to start dropping down. 10 was now an 8, 6, 5, 4, till you get it all the way down to a 0. And then these information will be on top and always stay on top. Okay, so we're on to the next one. I hope that I am making sense and that you're catching it. You're going to go to my website. You can do it right now. Go to DIYmentalboost.com. This is the page you'll see. You'll see a little easy start here. That is where you start. That's all you got to do. Start there, and there is step-by-step guidance right there on that page, what to do next. Okay? And then if you want to stay in touch, where you want this information, like every week to hear from me, interesting tidbits, or just our latest videos, or new things we add to the website, then you're going to want to make an account. There's a little person icon that you'll see right there. Just make your free account so that you'll stay in touch. Because remember, there is a learning curve, right? And there's also a forget curve. Did you know about the forget curve? It means you're pumped about what I'm saying now. Whoa, yeah, let's do it. And then tomorrow, you don't have that same feeling. Why? Because the brain needs to know it's important for you to do it. So, like if right now, you're like, I'm into it, I don't want to forget this, go to the website. Make your free account. Because within 24 hours, you're going to get a welcome thing from me. Welcome message. Okay. You'll get an email every week, which will serve as a reminder. Hey, that's something I want to look into. And then whenever you're able to get to it at your convenience, it will be there. Your brain will keep saying, hey, don't forget you want to do that. Don't forget you want to do that. The forget curve is what many people do not know they have. Actually, the best way to forget curve is this. Right after I've talked to you, right after you've watched this, you'll probably on the Easy Start Here page, just click and do one video 1 hour later, right away. 1 hour later, do another one. 24 hours later, do another one. And then within 7 days, do another one. That actually will train the brain that this is important. I do that all the time now. I'm like, Renee says I want to do this. Do I really want to do this? Then I know what I need to do. I need to look at it for a few minutes, an hour later, look at it again, 24 hours later again, and 7 days. And I directed my brain, this is something I want you to remember. Did you know you could do that? It's amazing, isn't it, when you learn this kind of stuff? So let's get going. Critical. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're going to have the proper use of criticism. Do we not like being criticized? Oh, I think I had the biggest issue with this. And as I said, remember, there's always layers. Okay, we always have layers of how things make us feel. Okay, and so I might be good with criticism from a peer, but maybe I'm not from a boss or from my husband or from my child, if I had a child or a husband. But you see, there's layers. So you can actually work on the layers. Okay, so proper use of criticism helps to give or see new perspectives and opens the eyes to things that one may need have overlooked or never considered. That's what criticism is good for. It helps us to give or for our own selves to see new perspective, opens our eyes. It's not about, oh, now you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing. Because I'm telling you this means I think you're not smart. Okay. Okay. So that is not how we want to use criticism. That's being critical of things, I should say. I should say the proper use of being critical or judging things. And criticism is when we're doing it in the improper use of way. I should correct that. Okay, so constructive criticism, so to speak, or I should say critical view or giving advice or counsel of ourselves or to others is clear, direct, honest, and easy to implement. Clear, direct, honest, and easy to implement. Have I made things clear, honest, and easy to implement and clear? I hope so. You can give me thumbs up if you're understanding what I'm saying. It provides specific examples. I hope I've given examples and actionable suggestions. I hope I've given actionable suggestions for positive change. This type of feedback also highlights ways one may make positive improvements in their behavior to minimize future problems. It empowers you, it empowers others when it is done in a good way. I am sorry if my little videos are not playing through correctly. In this little picture, she's being critical of what the girl's wearing. And you can kind of see in her face, but it's slow running, so it's not quite doing that. But if you watch the replay, you'll see it. Here we go again. Next page. Least productive use of criticism to others, be critical to others, or giving advice or suggestions. It's an easy slope downward in one's own self-opinion. You have to deflate others to pump yourself up. It becomes habitual. That's the least productive use. Critical of self, it keeps one feeling hopeless, not good enough, overstriving, and anxious. I bet you I was an overstriver. Yeah, that's what I had to work on, overstriving. Yeah, it was definitely one of the ones I addressed, overstriving. Next slide, por favor. How do you feel? Encouraged? Oops, double clicked. Go back one. I need to be a little patient. There it goes. There's a lag still in my computer. How do you feel encouraged and not critical unproductively? You do inner work. That's what we've been talking about. You cultivate and feed your brain in healthy ways, motivating self-talk, regulating emotions. That's what you do with the 3-step thought process. You take productive actions and enjoyment in life. Okay. You take good care of yourself. If you take care of your brain will do amazing things for you. You'll know as you're doing these steps. You will feel as I am talking, your brain is going to be like, every time you come in and listen, you're like, oh yes, because you're going to start seeing the changes. You'll know if this information is sinking in because you'll actually be doing the guided sessions and you're going to seeing things in your life from Whatever you're feeling today, you won't feel tomorrow. Whatever you're feeling this week, it will be changed and enhanced by next week. This month, next month will be different. If you're not having any changes, it's because you're just listening to my words and not implementing yet. And that's okay. Right now, it might be just the time for you to take in my words. Okay. And then you'll get to the point where you'll start implementing the 2-step process and you're going to start reaping the benefits of what I'm talking about. So, how in practical, conscious ways? How do you do that? You do affirmations for your own self. That's a conscious way of doing that. But again, remember, if you have low intense vibes, your intense low vibes in there, makes it hard to do those affirmations. Okay, because your brain's not believing it. Practice gratitudes, again, the same thing. If you have intense low vibe going on about something, it causes you not to be able to focus and look for the good, so that then the gratitudes are not as effective. So affirmations and gratitudes are good. So as you're doing this process, okay, you'll notice in the program that I have, I actually tell you to do gratitudes and affirmations because they start benefiting you because you've already started to drop the intense low vibes and things. You're going to look to give forgiveness to yourself and others. You're going to look, did you hear what I said? Look for ways to give forgiveness to yourselves and others. Others are like, oh, if they apologize, I'll forgive them. Or if he comes to me, or if he mentions it. You could just give someone forgiveness inside. You don't have to go up to them and say, I forgive you. You can just go inside and say, I'm going to let that go. Allows you to let go and not get stuck in a cycle of bitterness. The one thing you can blame, you're going to, just because they did this or didn't do this, it's going to keep that irritation, that annoyance, that inability to trust and all that stuff. Look for ways to forgive. Now, looking for ways to forgive is hard when you have intense low vibes in there. That's why we use the 3-step thought process. It drops those low vibes so that you can easily forgive. So if you're finding it hard to forgive, you've got some intense low vibe attached to something. You could drop those down with the 3-step thought process. I hope I didn't skip a page. I almost feel that I did, but I'm not going to go back. Again, go to DIY Mental Boost if you have not yet already. You can reprogram subconscious and let go of past failures and doubts that are holding you back, that are not allowing you to feel acknowledged, praised, that are causing you to be critical. People were critical of you. Believe it or not, we tend to repeat the pattern even if we don't want to, because that's what the brain is used to. And it has an intense low vibe about it. So you drop that and then you'll stop being critical of yourself and of others. Now, remember, there's layers. So you may not be critical in some areas, but you may be critical in others. And you get to look at those areas and drop them down. Start here. That's the button. Make your free account. Give me a thumbs up if you're on your way to make that DIYmentalboost.com free account. Okay, you'll get a letter within or email within 24 hours or so that you're welcome to my website to utilize it. I'm going to wait and give you a few seconds to do that. I'm also going to look at the time. 1:25. Been on about 50 minutes. I was a little late getting started today. I was going to try something different with the 2 different camera stuff, but get it complicated. So I decided I would just go with the usual way I've been doing it. Okay, great. Are you back with me? Did you make your free account? Awesome. Awesome. Give yourself kudos. Hey. Reminder. Key reminder. Yes, I know I say this every single time because it's so important. All the vibe emotions are like Quack alarms. They tell us to pay attention and take action if needed. They are not meant to feel them and say, oh, I'm a horrible, rotten person. I can't do anything right. That's the least productive use of them. Oh, he's saying that I'm unlovable. He's broke up with me. That means no other man's gonna love me. Okay, that is a that's a default program that we're used to using. We did not assign high vibes to low vibe situations yet. And so we use those emotions in an unproductive way. Okay. It should tell us to pay attention. What if some guy said, I broke up with you because you're too this, that, or the other? You can sit there and say, oh, okay, look at it, say, oh, nope, 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 nope. Oh, yeah, well, maybe in this area, I could see he was right. Oh, well, next time I'll know not to do that. Or you can sit there and say, oh, no, it must all be him because what he's saying, that's not true of me. Okay. It helps us to pay attention and take action, look at ourselves, see what's going on, and then say, well, this individual doesn't wish to be with me anymore. I know I had aspirations with him. I know I thought this was the one, but now it's not. So now I know to keep moving forward, and your brain will just, it won't sit there and say, oh, I need lots of time to recover. It might say, you know what, I'm just going to go to Tahiti for a little while, or I'm going to get doing this for a while. I'm going to start this project. Now that I have the time, I could do, it's going to just give you different messages and leave you open to still continue to receive good in your life. Does that sound good? If it does, give me those little hearts, thumbs up. I always look back at my replays to see if what my information is doing. Uh-oh. El detector went too fast. If you ignore your alarms, it may start become louder and persistent. That's where we get all those moods, discouragement, depression, anxiety. Okay. Oh, it's like someone's trying to call me. And it took me out of my screen. Resume and share. Well, now I know I can just hit resume share and I'll pop right back up. So if we do not listen, that's what happens. We get those roller coaster emotions. So listen to ourselves. And actually, as you train yourself, okay, the emotions that you have right now, as you train them, then those emotions actually won't keep popping up when something happens. Lose a job, panic won't come up. It'll just give you really good emotions. So, but in anything you're doing right now with a default program that you have right now, you're going to pay attention, set, feel, release it. And then what? Look at the 3 ways that you can look at the situation. Because when your brain has it calm, it can do that. I hope it doesn't go to the next screen because I wanted to talk about these. So both of these scenarios result in our paying attention and taking action and avoiding having emotional turmoil. We ended up not doing that if we ignore. And we're going to hit that again. I don't know how to stop that, but I'll figure that out next time. Do you want this or do you want this? So do you want more calmness or do you want more always a conflict, always something an issue? The choice is yours. How you choose to use anger or how you choose to use your low vibe emotions, criticism. Okay, so you want to enhance your program to get a new one. You have to do it in the subconscious. You have to do it in the subconscious. And that will actually reprogram so that you're not consciously trying to make a habit, a new thought. That is hard to do it. You can do it, but you'll hear about people working for years. When you do it this way, it only takes minutes, especially as you train your brain. It gets faster, 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 faster. Several minutes in the beginning that you're working hard at it, and then it changes. Okay, let's see what else that we have here. That call coming in now made my computer even more little slow. I'm gonna have, whenever that does it, maybe someone will tell me, get a messenger come in, I'll decline it and it'll just stay on my screen. I have to actually reboot the computer for it to go away. If anyone knows how to take care of that, you can let me know. I'm always open to learning. I guess that's it. Is that the end of my presentation? I guess it is. I didn't know that was my last page, but it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to stop share, or maybe I'll leave it up there a little bit so you can see where to put DIYmentalboost.com if you haven't done it, or if you just joined me and you're like, what you talking about? Well, this is the page where you can go to do the start, easy start to learn how to regulate your emotions easily. Yes, roller coaster emotions may be the norm, but it doesn't have to be your norm. Doesn't have to be your norm. Okay, I'm going to stop share. We're going to take a little break. And then we will come back and do a little more. But we're going to take a little break now. Now, I wonder if I can, I wonder if I can take a little break where I'm actually running a video. I wonder if I could do that. I'm going to try to bring that up. I'm going to close that. Open up my YouTube. Everything is lagging so much. And I can't reboot because otherwise I'll lose you. So I wanted to run a little video while I take a little breather. But it'll be a beneficial video for you because it'll be enjoyable just to listen to a little bit of music and to chill a little bit while I take a 3-minute breather. Let's see if I can get it up. It'll also give you a sample of what my videos look like. That's why I like to run them. Gives you a little sample so that you know, of course, if you go to the page that I've already discussed at DIYmentalboost.com, the Easy Start tab, you'll have seen it there, but you haven't been able to play it because you're listening to me. So I think I got it. I think I got it. And I'll be able to play it. And it'll be 3 minutes, and then you can also take a little breather too. Grab something to drink and then come back because we're going to do the second part of today's workshop. Okay, I think I do have a little video that I'll play, but I want it to be nice and soothing. Let's see here. I really didn't. I wanted, you know what I should do? I should actually make me one that I can always just play in my intermission. Okay, so here's a little 1-minute one. I call it my Fur Babies series. Oh, but I have a playlist on it. Let me see if I can get the playlist to play. That was smart thinking. Let me see if I can do the playlist. Okay, so I'm going to the playlist real quick. My playlist. See if I have my Fur Baby ones. We're going to share. I'm going to take a breather. You're going to take a little breather. You'll enjoy what's going to be on the screen. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about some good stuff about our brain. Okay. I'm actually going to give you a little tidbit about how the brain creates our feelings. And that information is on the Easy Start page. But it doesn't hurt that if you get it from me here. So then when you hear it again, when you're looking at the videos, it'll make a lot more sense to you. But we're going to talk about how our brain creates our emotions. And I'm still looking for my Fur Baby ones. Here it is. I got it. So I'm going to throw it up there. I'm going to hit play and hopefully be able to do a screen share so that you will see it too. I'm going to play it. Woohoo! I think I should always do the Fur Baby ones. But don't forget.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we.
I'm back. Hold on a second.
About to see the world in action, what we can be.
I had that video playing in my ear, so I couldn't even hear myself. So, what we're going to talk about real briefly. This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mountain Moose, and welcome back. Have you gotten back? Have a seat. Relax, chill. Okay. So, how is it that our brain creates our feelings? Why do you feel the way you do about things, situations? Is it just because that's the way you're supposed to react? Well, believe it or not, most of our reactions are habitual. It's what we're taught how to react. So we have a situation that happens in life and we attach an emotion to it. We learn these from the time we're born. Our peers, family, friends, environment, where we live, where we come from, they have dictated to us how we should respond to certain things, and that becomes our norm. And sometimes in life, we may challenge that norm and say, "Oh, that's the way my parents were. I'm not going to be that way." Or that's the way my sister treated me. I'm not going to be that way. I'm not going to have my kids treat each other this way. So we actually will identify something maybe we don't like. So with DIY Mental Boost, we show you how to consciously be able to do that. So to be able to look at things based on how the brain works and to understand, hey, I may not want to get into these low vibe emotions the way I may not want to use them the way I've been trained to use them. Okay. We have been trained, default program, which is the norm, is something happens in life. And if it's low vibe, we feel low. And it could be an undetermined amount of time. And we just have to dwell in it. Okay. That is a pattern. If you do not want that pattern, you can make your norm different. You can have a low vibe situation happen and you can attach and link a high vibe emotion to it. Now, you've heard people do that. They'll sit there and say, fall off the horse, get right back up, right? Or they say, you can control how you respond to circumstances. You can't control circumstances, some you can, some you can't, but you can always control how you respond. Okay, so it is known that you can't. You're going to have a different norm. The thing is that no one tells you how to do that. I know I wasn't told. Kind of muddled through, learned a few techniques, did a few things. I think one of the best ones for me was CBT. That really taught me a lot, but it still was just like a managing and coping skill. It didn't really help me to stop repeating it, so I kept having to cope and manage. Okay, it seemed to take a really long time, and I actually did really well, and I followed through. But in the end, I had made my world so small, trying to avoid triggers and stuff still. Okay. So if you're working on something, you're doing something, it's taking a long time. And I'm not saying a long time when you're sitting there saying, I've been working on the same issue, the same past thing, and it's been years, months. There's a faster way. I'm just telling you there's a faster way that you may want to try. And that's the 3-step thought process that I talk about. What it does is it takes your low vibe situation and the low vibe emotion that you put to it and makes it so that instead of 15 years later, you're saying those are still what's causing all the havoc around. That doesn't happen. It becomes something that happened, but it doesn't become something that is going to forever mar you. You're going to have to live with it for the rest of your life. Okay. So many times we are also told that, we have a certain condition or this, and our brain just focuses on it and it never think it can get out of it. But I always say, just like when you break an arm, you go to the doctor's, broken arm, and then they fix it, and then you go on. They don't just sit there and say your arm's broken forever. You're going to have to wear it in this sling forever. But for some reason, when it comes to emotions, that's what they like to do forever. Okay, have to deal with them because this emotion, this unwanted lingering emotion. No, you can actually regulate your emotions. And as you start to train your brain to effectively rerouting it in an effective way, if you're trying to do it in your conscious mind, it takes a long time and it's hard. And many people have to give up because it's so hard. Because what your brain is saying that you're unworthy, and then you're trying to tell it you're not. It's hard. Do it in your subconscious. Easy, fast. Because what happens is your subconscious is where it all started. Okay, the programs are in there. How did that unworthy feeling get started? You go in and address that. And when you address that, that is where you can unleash where that started. That makes sense? So that's what I learned at 48. That's what you could do. Okay, so throughout life, we have programs, mental software programs that we have developed that we just automatically use. They're in our subconscious. Boom, boom, boom. How we feel about things. It's just automatic. You can change all of them. Any of the ones that are not helping you to be productive, not helping you to stay motivated, you can change it. Because think about it, your brain is actually designed to help you to stay safe. And instead of using high vibes as a way to stay safe, lower vibes of guilt, fear, anger have been used. And they're not very productive because it keeps you in that low vibe cycle. But if you use the high vibe ones and habitually, what does that keep you in? It keeps you in the high vibe cycle because your brain can only produce what it is that you tell it. You reap what you sow. So if you're going to take a situation and tap a low vibe from it, you're not going to get a high vibe emotion. You have to attach a high vibe emotion in order to make it that. Does that make sense? If it is, give me thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay. So if you want to be able to ask me questions that I answer in live time, then you're going to want to start coming to my Q&A sessions that I do one time a month, Q&A one time a month to answer questions. That's actually today, but no one showed up today. So that's why I get to do a little extra here. Okay. So it's just me in my little Zoom room. But if someone else was here, I would actually be chit-chatting with them right now. So it's always the first Sunday the second Sunday of the month. And then Q&A means I can actually help you to, if you get stuck. So if you started the program, you're having questions as you're going through, that's why I'm there for that. Okay, this is emotional skills that I am sharing with you that I learned at 48. And because of doing that, that's when I found out that life is really extremely good all the time. Even when things unwanted are going on, your brain has the ability to take it on, like, boom, not a problem. And that's not the way it was for me in the past. It was always like I always did a good job. I worked really, really, really hard. And then when something came, I would climb that mountain. Well, I don't climb mountains anymore. Everything stays just a little jump and a skip. Because now my brain, it has a different perspective and it knows how to immediately get through things. It's not a struggle. So it's thriving all the time, not surviving, because we go through modes of surviving. Don't do that anymore. Do not do that anymore. So if you do not want to do that anymore, and you want your brain to be helping you 24/7, because consciously, if you're trying to do it, it's hard. That's what I was doing before. But would you put the programs in that are subconscious, that are just automatic, and boom, something happens, and that subconscious program just gets going, and you're just like, sometimes I'm just like, how did I even get here? Have you ever been like driving to your job, and you're like, whoa, you weren't consciously? That's kind of what happens to me. It seems like in life now. It's like oh yeah, I want to go here, and the next thing I know, I'm here. Like, oh, what I wanted is here. I get to use it. I didn't even realize I was there because it just boom, like subconscious programs just get me there. It's amazing. You'll love it. You'll love it. So whether you are looking at things from spiritual level, they're amazing. Do you know enlightenment is the spirituality? Enlightenment is the highest vibe. whew. So I have certain things that I look at. And for me, faith, the spirituality, Holy Spirit, that's the first thing I'm always telling my brain to absorb and to take in. And then I get to the love, joy, and the peace. And then I get down to compassion and patience. And then my fourth is dealing with the abundance of what I want to receive in my life. Because I used to not really handle money very well. I was always able to make money. I never seemed to use it well or keep it. So you're staying that same vibe of you're not forward, you're not, it's always like, and then so and that, because now I know how to utilize money in a very good way for not just myself but for others. So you're going to get your own tier of what you're looking for when you do yours, what your high vibes are, what you're going to always be drawing in. I'm always drawing in that stuff now. So I hope that is making sense. So the other thing that I like to focus on is the fact that now that you know how your brain creates the emotions that you're having, this is my little holy grail book. I have the Bible, and then I have this book. Because as a massage therapist, people come with me for chronic pain issues. So what I do is I tell them, well, your pain that you've got, tell me what it is. And then I use my little trusty book because it helps you to see where certain emotions cause certain diseases and illnesses. And as soon as I help them to see that, and they start addressing it, then those symptoms start going dormant. Yeah. So for me, when I learned this for myself, being a massage therapist, my brain automatically was like, "Oh, I can use this in my work." And so my specialty before learning all this was chronic pain. So I could, through muscle, figure out how to get things. But then things would come back, and I'd be like, "They're back." And it's because the emotion keeps bringing back the issue. So then I start telling them, "Hey, you're gonna wanna look into this. You want to do the 3 steps that I have on my website so that you have to just come to me to feel good, not because you have to come to me because you're hurting." Okay. So, and one of these, I think I'll sit down and I'll talk about a little bit more on that because that's, I'm really good at that part because that's, my work. And that's what I do. Yeah. Helping you to see and then helping you to, because when somebody comes into me and they're in pain in the moment, and then I say, well, sit down. We're going to address whatever it is that's bothering you. And then their pain drops and sometimes all the way down. I haven't even touched them, but I help them just do the 3 steps while they're with me. Yeah, it helps them to see, oh, maybe we really want to look at this. And then I say, okay, now let's do the massage. So when I tell people that, pain can be the emotion behind it, I'm not just talking just something I read. And I think, oh, it's because this is what I actually do with my work. All the time are dealing with people where I haven't even started the massage, but we're able to drop their pain because we address whatever they're emotionally having the confusion inside first. Okay. So I do say this with great confidence. And the fact that, for the past 4 years, I've been a massage therapist for over 16 years, but also helping people to see that the emotions can be behind the chronic part coming back for over 4 years. So I do know what I am sharing with great confidence. I say that if you look at that, you'll be amazed at what your brain will do for you. How when it is stressed, it is actually talking to you through your body. Now, you know what I tell my body now that I've learned this, I tell it, we don't talk that way. If you happen to have a little confusion, we do not need to be giving me any kind of pain anywhere because I did have a body full of pain before. And I addressed all of those issues. But now I say, hey, we don't need to create any illness. Just, speak to me and let me clearly hear what we need to do. So like I said, the brain will produce only what you tell it. So is that making sense to you too? So I can talk to you about how your body creates your feelings, and then how these emotions, these feelings can actually cause illnesses, diseases, chronic pain. A lot of the autoimmune diseases, I would really, if anyone has an autoimmune disease, I would be knocking on the door of looking into this, because you're going to be surprised about symptoms going dormant, staying dormant when you address your emotional issues and what was going on when those symptoms started to occur in your life. Just saying, that's what I recommend. And when you just sit down and start my program, you might be surprised the different physical changes that you'll get by just going through the program, not even focusing on whatever it is your diseases or illnesses, but just by regulating and getting your emotions, you're going to start to see the calmness that's going to come into your life mentally and physically. Well, I'm glad you're here. I did talk another few minutes. I said that I would. And I hope that you enjoyed what I had to say today. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you've joined the email list. I got a couple of things on my website. So if you're thinking, oh, that just seems, I don't know, I don't have the time. I also have just the 7-day challenge that you can do and get some good results from that. So you have a 7-day challenge that you can do that's on my website. You can actually do the easy start tab and start going through the different levels. That's going to take a little bit more time. But if you're looking for in the moment relief, I would just do the 7-day challenge and see what you get from that and take a little breather or enjoy your results. And then you can always start on the easy start tab. Okay, so get started. Motivation to get started sometimes can be a little hard. So let's just take a deep breath with me. Okay, and I want you to think of all the reasons why you think at this moment it would be hard to regulate your emotions or to make time to do this type of work on yourself. You know, you may be a mom, you may be a single mom, you may not have a lot of time, you may be tired, you may be feeling overwhelmed. That's okay. Take that all into consideration. Breathe it out. And since you're listening to me, I'm doing a little quickie with you right now because you're listening to me, so you might as well, right? Take a deep breath. Now, I want you in your mind just to think of 5 different animals, name them. And if you want to improve this re-engagement of the mind, because I'm actually doing 3 steps with you right now, you're going to write them down. And if you want to even increase your mind even more, write them down with your opposite hand. And the reason why we try to find what engagement works the best, because that's how the technique works. Of course, you'll look at my website to get all the details of it, but just trust me right now. Write them down, 5 animal names, different animals. Great, take a deep breath, let it out. Now I want you to think of something that makes you really happy. You always think of it. It could be a pet, it could be a song, it could be just thinking of an ocean. And if you can't, pop your iPod in, your little buds, and listen to some music and get into it. Think happy. Okay, go. Got 30 seconds. And if I could get my music on while I'm listening to you. Take a deep breath. Okay, go back to how busy you are. You know, how you don't have time, how you already feel overwhelmed. You don't even know what this is about. Why you don't want to start something. Take a deep breath. Seems hard. Scared. Unsure. What is it? Don't be afraid of it. Look at it, own it. Take a deep breath. And now I want you to write down 6 girl names and 6 boy names of the same letter. So we're going to do the letter D. 6 girl names, 6 boy names. Now it may seem difficult. That's great because we want the brain to be re-engaged. So it's not about whether you can actually do it. It's just whether or not you're engaging your brain to try to do it. That is the A+ of this game. 6 girl names, 6 boy names. Write them down at step 2. Let's see, I'll help you. Danielle, Dolores, Dorothy, Deirdre, write them down. You got two more. Guy names. Daniel. Got him? If you didn't, that's okay. It's just about re-engagement of the mind. Take a deep breath in, let it out. And now go to your happy place or put your earbuds in, listen to some music, dance to it, get into it. 30 seconds, go. Think of a happy thought. Feel a calm thought. Feel it to your toes, head to toe. Just trust me. Do what I say. Let it out. And now think about why you may not be motivated for things to do in life. Is it too much going on? Too tired? Too busy? Afraid of trying new things, doing things differently, used to the way you're feeling? Just look at it. It should be getting calmer to look at. Let your breath go out. And now we're going to have you write down 6 colors, any color. And when you do a color, think of 6 colors. And remember, if you're writing it with the opposite hand, that's going to really help the re-engagement of your mind, okay? Think of a flower that matches that color. Oh, if you can. We just kind of heightened it up. It's a re-engagement of the mind. But I'm showing you how it is that you help your brain to de-escalate and to de-escalate fast. And then as you learn to do this, your brain will do it automatically. So right now we're manually doing it. Might seem a little clunky. That's okay. It's your first time. Anytime you do something the first time, what is there? A what? Learning curve. That's the whole point of growth, right? It's not a big deal. Name of the flower and a color. Color and flower. So like purple and then lavender. Think of a lavender flower. Think of the color rose and then an actual rose. Makes sense? Yellow. The dandelion. Think of it, write it out, write it backwards. You're doing good. And give you some time to do it. Now take a deep breath and think of, you know it, something happy, makes you smile, or put your earbuds in, do a little dance with your music, and then put a good jam in there. A lot of people, when they're doing that, are like, okay, I have my sorrowful music. I'm like, sorrowful music? We're not about sorrowful music at this time. We're about jams, getting up, moving, keeping you pumped. Pump it up. I'd put some music on you, but then they'd be striking me, telling me that I'm doing copyright claims. I'd sing to you, but we want you to stay. Sometimes I sing it pretty good. And then, you know how I found out there's just certain songs that I sing well and certain songs like, ooh, maybe not. I'll have to go and get trained and see what it is that I do to not sound as good as I think I should. Take a deep breath, let it out. Now let's think about your motivation to get things done in life, to get started in life, changing things, changing your emotions, regulating your emotions. But you have so much to do. It's so easier just to do things the way you've been doing, even though you have so much things from it that turn out not so well. Just look at that. Why? Why is it hard for you to start being motivated to get things done, do something new, do something different? Take a deep breath, let it out. And the last time we're going to distract you with what? I'm going to say A is for alabaster. And then you're going to say A is for, and you can type in your own word on the screen. A is for. And then I'm going to say B is for bold. And what's your B word? Put it on the screen. D is for dynamic. I actually tell people my personality is dynamic. If you look up the definition of dynamic, Google it, and it says dynamic. That's me. Dynamic, right? Your D word. F is for frank. I'm very frank. Frank. What's your F word? And the last word we're going to do is G is for gorgeous. Gorgeous. You are gorgeous. What's your G word? You're done good. Take a deep breath and, listen to that last bit of music or think of something calm. You have 30 seconds. Happy, exhilarating, peaceful. Check in yourself. See how if you feel a little lighter, a little freer, a little less overwhelmed, or a lot less overwhelmed. What are you seeing? You can put in the results that you felt better now, or you're still feeling a little. That's okay. Because as you learn to do the technique, your brain will really get to doing the 3 steps. Because all you do is the 3 steps and the brain will unlink it. You don't even have to reason it out. You don't have to convince it. It will just do it. This is a little practice one. You did a good job. Give yourself a pat. Remember, give yourself kudos. Good job. Next time, you're going to do a good job too. This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost. And I'm so happy to be here sharing with you what I learned at 48 that helped to, open up the world. And I'll see you next week, 12:30 Mountain Standard Time, every Sunday, while we're doing this little series of Be Your Own Brain Whisperer. Share it, like it, subscribe, and make your free account. Pay it forward what you're learning so others can benefit. Give and receive. That's the way it works. It's a great flow. I received all of this. It has brought so much into my life. And now I am sharing it, paying it forward.